Parshas Terumah. V'davar Hashem al Moshe Leim v'davar al bnei Yisrael v'yikchu li Terumah meis kol ish shedvenu libo tikkus Terumosi v'zeh zeh Terumah shetikchu mi'itam zov v'chesed v'nachoshes. And the pasuk goes on and on, Telas v'argama until Ashoni and on and on. Rashi says tikkus Terumosi. Amar Rabbi Seina, our sages said Shalosh Terumas Amuras Khan. There's three Terumas. It says three times the word Terumah. It says v'yikchu li Terumah. Then it says, and then it says, Truma. Three times says Truma. The first one is that they used for to make the Adonim. Mush mafurish beila pikude. Beachel Truma samizbeach bekala gulgerlos lakupes liktus mem kobonas sibur. And beachel Truma samishkin nivus kolecha veachad. Yud gimel dvarim amurim inyin kula mutzrach lemachs mishkin ala big de kulim kshedaktik ban. So Chazal say many places, and Rashi brings, because even Mechomash is going to ask, why does it say three times Truma, Truma, Truma? Rashi says there's three types of Truma. The third is Merames and three Trumas. There was three times that they had the different countings. And I'm sorry, twice counting, and once it was Truma. So and Rashi says later in the same year they were counted twice. So the first the set of machzah shekel was used for the adonim. The second was used for the karbonos, and the third truma here doesn't mean machzah shekel. It means everyone gives as much truma as they want, and
For the Mishkan.
for the mishkan. Okay. So the Rebbe asks, first of all, why taka? The first two are only said as a remes. The third one is beferish. Truma, Kzov, Akesev, Nechoshes, Sacheles, Vargomon.
Tell you exactly what to
To me, it's not a big kasha. When you do symbolic, when you go around with the pushka, in the morning, Vayivorach Tov, it's very nice. When you need to build a shul, you need serious money in the account. So you're not going to spend a lot of time in emphasizing the Vayivorach David, the two prutas. You need a few $1,000,000, so you make a big deal out of it. But that's not a real teretz over here in the pasuk. Why is it when the first truma is a little remes, second truma is a little remes, and now we get to Zav Chesev and Nechosh, the Tchelos Vagoma, no, it's to get a ganze parsha. And the ikir is, why is it that there's different expressions? By the first time truma it says v'yikchu li truma, v'yikchu li truma. Second time it says teruma si, not li teruma, teruma si. And the third time it says v'zayis ha teruma. Why is it three different lashonis? As I said, this is really. Why is v'yikhu li? Basically, yeah. Why is v'yikhu? Why is v'yikhu? And what's the li teruma? Teruma si and teruma. Yeah. Why is it different expressions? So before we go into the Rebbe's teretz, a geschmack teretz, and the Rebbe said a mimer on this, and Baruch Tanel, very minimum zaynos. It's really good. Fresh. Try Hamantash.
What they put inside?
Dubai chocolate.
Who said when air was like that?
It's a big minik. Gadol Yisrael.
When I was a kid, it said that the ozen have inside dirt.
Yeah,
That's the stuff inside.
that's exactly.
Like Minoshes, I can't eat it.
I know.
They didn't want me to eat it, so they told me that. So there's a mimer on this possible.
In Chabad, they made Hamantash. What did they put inside? Jelly, or they put inside poppy seeds?
The black thing.
Poppy seed.
The poppy seeds. You remember those Hamantash? Shumi?
Yes.
I don't see them even in the stores anymore.
Not very top.
Huh?
People wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
People wouldn't eat it now.
Mm-hmm.
Put down the chocolate.
Amen. Correct. Took the Erechaim with little three pieces. It's a lot of the.
What's the good for the wine before we go to the Sicha?
It's very geschmack. I want to first go through.
The Sicha more than the.
Mm-hmm. Let's go through quickly. Erechaim HaKodesh, the Kliyokor, and the Rabbeinu B'chai. Tzarech ladas, lama kosa, vav betchilas inyan, v'yikchu. V'ula she'ir tzadar chamram zechayin lebrachim, v'mashkan al shkolim. V'amar zechayin lebracha, kushalo turmas yeshkan. Ushanokan. Shnaim shkolim bekel ugolis, v'achas ladon, v'achas lekarbonas tzibur. Ashlishis is nidus amishkan. Afizan is kavim v'amar v'yikchu keneged, nidvas hashkolim haramuze batruma samuchal. Loima sheyeshna bekfiya lishka. V'yikchu means menemt, balkorche. Menemt balkorche. So that, but the machzah shekel, the taka they did balkorche. It wasn't just like if you want to give you nidvas alev. Samach tevis v'yikchu b'nei Yisrael l'irmesh b'shkolim adaber kosev. Sheinu shekel l'bnei Yisrael l'bnei Yisrael d'ksif kolay v'relab chudim. V'viza amra meis kolish pidush alakicha tevashva meis kolish. Avila is asher yidven aliba ti lakichas shava v'kulam v'lo yarba nove v'lo yamaet akilai. V'hoid yirtzap l'sefes of l'ram shavar kodem dovar acher. V'hu nidve saleif. Ramos b'soifenya. Shamar asher yidven aliba. V'laderech ze yidabra kosov gam betrumas hamishkan v'yach tzashem shekol nedove ti milei v'lo ti anesin ad shetigdam hanedove b'lei. V'yikchu is an emes to say the first really has to be nidve saleif. Elamai, the poil, the din is that in the first two trumas, if he wants it, if he doesn't want, they force him. But the third was take nidva salev, and in the nidva salev, everyone is equal. Gemachta is nidva salev. You don't force anyone. You don't force.
Want to give, you don't want to don't give.
Okay. Kliyokar. V'zoyz truma shetik chamitim. Ladas razal hoyz trumos amzul lekapora egel azov. Yeah, this that they gave the zov to the egel, so you have to machapek. The dezu. Nuchel afarish kumul truma sheniskar kam hin gimel avedis she'osu b'maisa egel. B'shnaim hoyu kol oivdim shove. U'begimel nischalfu b'poches v'yese. Okay, hey v'gimel trumas. V'rak shnaim hoyu shove. He said there were three parts to the sin in the Chet Egel. Two parts of the sin, everyone was shava. Whoever sinned, it made no difference. Everyone sinned equally. The third part of the sin, some sinned more and some sinned less. I'll explain. He says like this: Masha kiblos egel ala kaver emer ela kechel Yisrael. Is bechet zeh hoyu kol oivdim shava bikulam korol egel ala kaver adon al kein evi truma rishayna shekulam shavim beh v'nasam kol adon. Is that nigzem malosh odoin lachaper the almash also egel aloka. So v'amar ha'chazal omru she'ivu lelakus harba latzlam al harba adoin. Okay, nasa mamenu adonim arbe. It's a play in words. Odon means a master, and odon means a anchor.
Today in the daily mitzvah we learned about all the ways of
Adonim.
Right.
So the adonim is to be mechaper of this that they took an odon on themselves to have an egel, and there was adonim harbe. Because Rachman al-Atzlan, they took elokus harbe. Beis mashe zip chuloi shenem aviz zizbe chuloi v'zvichazoy gam kam kulam shavin al kem bot trumashniya shehoyu kulam shavin v'nasem menu korbanos tzibur lechaper al v'yizbe chuloi. Again, the sin was shava because they brought a korban l'shem kol Yisrael. Even though not everyone really served the Avodah Zarah, but everyone's responsible. But upon them, those that did serve the Avodah Zarah, on the first two issues, they were b'shava b'shava. So the takona for taking Rachman al-Tzlan Avodah Zarah for an odon, they made adonim, and for the chet for bizoveach for the Avodah Zarah, they were zeveach to the Eibishter. It's Shuvas HaMishkala, makes sense. Mida keneged mida. Agimul u'mashen ne'emar v'yisporku nizma azov ki osu nedova el Malachas egel memamonim v'lo yad kol adam shava bazeh ki oshrei noisen yoisem and oni keneged zeh b'atrim mishlishis shlei kulim shava b'kiim ish lefi osher nasa. Metam Zamon and Dovas and Asim Rab Nishem Primachrana, Kela Kaegel or Gamkim Nois them Yosem and Oni. Lakin it was from this Kabrachran der Achnas, Lapishalam Khel Godel Bachedza. Gamal if Pshut Lik, the Shem al Malas and Adova, Kim al Malas and Noisn, Kilapom Meet Nodum Hosh Mat Kesem Nasas Midvis Yodoi, Veiza Osha Blial, Bishchom Sitin Avne Yoker Blisofik, Shnidvis Atzadik Yosem Kabalas. Okay, Mone Avne Shoyam, Shehe Bachran. Because the Nasim, they should have stood up, told the Yidden, Chas v'Shalom, we're not going to do Avodah Zarah. And they didn't do that. So therefore they're guilty. And the Abisha was upset at them. Therefore their Nadav is mentioned last. Upon him, a very gishmak.
Makes sense all of that.
He says it all makes sense. There's three parts of the sin, and therefore there's three parts of the tshuva. They took the Avodah Zarah as a lakah, an odin. They were zeveich to it. And the fact that they gave so much of their jewelry as an adava for the Egel Azav. So for that, there was the three levels of tshuva.
The third one wasn't equal, so
The third one wasn't equal, so therefore. Again, why is it v'yikchuli? Why is it v'yikchuli? Tikchu es terumasi. So again, the Orachaim said,
more no Terumah. Give, not
right, yitnu terumah. Why is yikchu? Why does it say tikchu? So he says, the pshat is, v'shekol noisen adavi yoser u'lakeach mema shu noisen. Ki Yosef Hashem loy kehene v'kehene v'shnayim kiflayim. Then when I yid, whoa. We're talking about twice a day. We're talking about kefil, and you show up for the second time today.
Saw you on the video today.
Yes.
Very good. Have a homatash. So I covered the Purim. So I'm start again this week's. Much later, before the Lashon Sinikim Lashon Kechel Vishkol Noisen Nedava Yoser and Loikech from Masho Noisen. When a person gives tzedakah, he gets more than he gives really. Ki Yosef Hashem Loi Kahena v'Kahena Pishnaim Kiflaim. That the Eibishter gives him unbelievable more. Zodas Hamedrash. Ha'omer Adam Lakeach Hefet Shema Yochel Likach Bala Vim Av Lakadosh Baruch Hu Nasan Torah L'Yisrael Makacha Oisi Ima Shenam Yichuli Terumah. Lama Oisi Atam Loikchen. So this always brings this message. With the Torah, we take the Eibishter himself. V'yesh L'Daktik Manyan Torah Ela Terumah. Shkamosh Alam L'Mechavei Torah Yosef U'Mekabel Mashu Noisen. If you learn with another Yid, you gain more out of anything. And that was the last halacha on Shabbos. On Friday on Shabbos. Kach, sorry, on Shabbos, on Friday. Kach, the Trumazu Yoiser Lakech Masher Noisen. V'zesh Mask by Samedish Manoich Shabel Moicher Chayfetz was a Moicher Otzav Lakech Sameach. And you have to sell something, you're upset. But Al Kadosh Baruch Hu, he gave the Torah and he's happy. Shenemek Yelekech Noim Nesati Lachsam Tazrosi Al Tazayve Beard in Yazeh. Shkol Moicher Lachavei Deze Dober Torah V'lam Nimeh Zem Kabel Gam Kimemene V'kol Nesini Yesh Batzad Lakicha. Bottom line is, you think you're giving tzedakah, you think you're teaching Torah to another Yid, Baba Mises. You're getting more than you're giving. A guy comes into your store to get pizza, you tell him Advar Torah, you're getting more than you're giving. You hear?
Yeah.
Lachem maybe Raya, min apostle Elakach Toiv, v'zeh Raya Brure Bria, B'Toiv Shanasina Kroi Lakicha, Kach Betruma, Anasina Kroi Lakicha. That V'yikchu, the Be'emes says, you think you're giving, you're taking. That's the more of the Gevard. You think you're giving tzedakah, you want a big plaque. You're getting more than you're giving. Okay. This is the Kliyoker. Very nice. Agabon and the Erechaim Kliyoker both have what's the pshat V'yikchu, and what's the meaning of the three different trumas. Rabbeinu Bechai says, "V'tochen lefarish kamash yiskar tan shalosh trumas v'ikchel trumas termos v'zesa truma shem keneged shalosh trumas she'olam nitre b'hem chochma v'tvuna v'das ke'enin shenem Hashem b'chochma yosod eretz kohen shvaim tvuna v'daita yitomis nivku v'nir mit v'mayis mishkan lefisha mishkan shokol k'bris olam neizeh yiskar kan gimel trumas keneged tarmu yisrael v'mid b'gimel trumas echa trumas mishkan yamur v'pasha zushni trumas kolam v'hi yamur v'pasha shkolam says the kisisa. The terumah that they gave here was for the Adonim. Then in Parshas Kisisa, was for the machzah shekel to buy the korbanos. So Shlishi Terumah Mizbeach ve'amur ve'seder ve'sin Shnei Yisrael de'eshkolam shnos kolach machzah shekel ve'eshkolam hoy lekorbanos sibur. Gimel Terumah Salol Shtayim Kodesh ve'Shlishi Schol Shtayim Kodesh Terumah shebekam Terumah Mizbeach shkodesh kishneim letzorach kadosh baruch hu lechved l'shlish v'turim b'shkolim letzorach Yisrael teltem shabam meskapre. Kinyan shenem v'nos yishkoy f'nav shknegdim nestav Yisrael gimel Terumah shnichlas l'oretz Shtayim Kodesh shishchoy v'trinschala v'lo nestav Yisrael b'Shtayim levim l'chutza l'oretz kim b'eretz kadosh l'shneim Kodesh avos Terumah schal v'afli shnei sat b'chutz l'oretz kadosh l'etushtaka teres schal m'Yisrael. Terumah is in Eretz Yisrael, Kurma in Eretz Yisrael, but Chala is also Chutz with Rabbanim. I skipped the next piece. I just want to get to Alderech HaMedrash v'yikcholi Terumah ma'achar shenasate lachem teirose shekosa bo kelekach lev nasate lachem teirose heviu li Terumah kelekach tev nasate lachem. That what's Mishav v'yikcholi Terumah? The Medrash says after the Parshas Yisri Mishpatim, the Eibusha says, I gave you such a good Torah, so you have to pay me something. Give me Terumah. Mashal shnei soichem, echad biyode metaksa, ve'echad biyode pilpul mechlifu, ze notel ze pilpul ze metaksa. Kol echechosem emasha biyode, v'la Torah ene ken, ze shoyne say the zreim v'limi, kebiyode say the moed, v'ze shoyne say the moed, l'mish biyode say the zreim. V'chol echad ve'echad, marviach v'nish eloi masha biyode kvar. V'zeo nasati, lekach tov nasati lachem. In this world, if you have merchandise, you sell it, so you lose it. So you might have to sell it, but you lose it. In Torah, one person knows Raim and one Moed, they teach each other, and everyone's gaining, no one's losing. Ma'ase about the mechach besvinim seichrim harbe, v'yemrim leihechem pragmati shalcha, amalahem pragmati shali gedoyla mishalachem, vatko kol asvina v'leimotza klum, ischilu seich kem alav, naflo listim aleim bayam, shalulu v'notlu kol masha besvina. There was the pirates that came and stole everything from the Svina. Yotzel Abosha v'nichnas l'medina v'loya lahem lechem lechel v'beged lilbish ma'asay sachochem nistas l'beis ha'medrash nogu b'koved v'gdoylir melavim oisik shro ha'sechem kach bo'etz l'paisi oisik b'bakoshem m'cho ha'sei mono chesed v'lamad alei niskus l'fnei be'ir kedei sh'nisparnes v'nichim v'loi nomus kvar v'yisa ma'shavadna b'svina amalayim v'loi marti lachem shali gdoylim shalachem Shalachem Ovad v'Shalikaim. V'oid kol ha'oisa pragmatia loy kol show mistaker. Mishtaker. Shemishtaker pomim will be oimed biyode pomim she'enu biyode. Avla toyre medis la'ad b'olam hazeh u'b'olam hazeh v'oime ki lekach toiv nosati lochem. That the Torah says that the best is chayv. Okay, sure. Okay. We see Vikir in the Rechaim in the Kliyokor that trying to explain what's the nafkamina also what's the nafkamina between the three trumas? What's the nafkamina beruchnis between the three trumas? The Rebbe says like this: that the three trumas that the Eden gave is keneged Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasadim. What's the difference between Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasadim? So Torah we say is dvarei keish. It doesn't matter if a yid, where the yid is holding. Torah is eish. It comes down in this world. Torah is eish. Torah is also the yesod of everything. That's why Torah is the adonim. Torah is the adonim because the Torah is the foundation from everything. Then there is avoida. Avoida is tefillah. The avoida is Hashem, which is the korban sibur. And then there's the third thing, which is the zav chesav and the choshesh, which is the union of gemilas chasadim. What's the difference of the three things? So Torah, as we said, Torah is the Eibishter's thing. It's dvorei keish. Doesn't help that the person, even if the person haltnish by them, the Torah stays by its kedusha. There's a sanash.org. They have sometimes interesting stories on what's a Shabbos. So nice. So someone found in Bayside here in Queens some chelke, a tombstone. Geschrieben Neuach mit 7 Greisen. Like Pashut, simple words in Lashon Kodesh are written, and it says here is Isha Nichbad Va'Naila. I said it Shabbos by the day. The Chachnik are going. So So someone did some research on it. So it was just an interesting thing that there was the Rov in Crown Heights, who was much piece of a 70, lived there, is Reb Shmuel Levitin, who told once a story. He said that there was a Goen. His name was a Chachnek Goen, and he was a brilliant guy, and he learned by the Tzemach Tzedek, and then it's just the way he told the story. It was like a little bit of a funny story. Then he wanted to become a scientist, and the Tzemach Tzedek said that the goyvet is tsunami, so that the goy will take everything away from you. So that doesn't work. It's not worth it. Just stay in the Torah learning, and um, and uh, and the way he told the stories is a little funny. Like sometimes you hear stories. Napoleon had a 500,000 ruble in a bank in Petersburg, and who was going to win the ticket? And there was a riddle, and this guy, the Chachnik, go and found it, and Goy took it away from him. The whole story just like this get clapped. So, but this guy did some research on the story. They're fascinating. It was this week on Anash.org. So this guy put in a lot of work, and he found there was a lot of newspapers here in New York, Yiddish newspapers, 1902, 1889. No, and they're writing about a general in the Russian army, which was he was a großer Knacker. He was the head of one of they had he was the head of the navy or something, and the Japanese were very proud that they found out he was in a boat, and they torpedoed the boat, and they had postcards showing how he's dying, and the Japanese were freilich bis the Himmel. So so the newspapers in New York, the Yiddish newspapers said the heavy Yedua that this guy, don't feel so bad about this guy. That there is a scientist, a Yiddish Alta Yid Nebuch in New York, and he was a scientist in Petersburg, and he came up with a technique, and he has a lot of patents on his name, and he came up with a technique of how a boat could crush the ice and get that, to move things around the Arctic Circle, because Russia is all the way in the north in Petersburg. They always wanted to. That's why President Trump says, I want to control Greenland, because the Russisch, you can't trust them. And that's why now there's a whole issue about these tiny islands that somewhere in the Indian Ocean also, where the president of the United States is very like saying, no, I don't want the Russians over there. So the Yiddish newspaper said that there's a Jewish scientist that lives here in New York, and he has a tremendous amount of patents, and that he came up with this thing that you outfit it on a boat, and it crushes the ice, and that's how and the guy stole it from him. When he came to register it or whatever, he went to the army to outfit the boats, and the Kuma goy and took away from him the patent, and he became this Groisa general, and there's a Ganav and there's a Rosho, and L'chaim to the Japanese who killed him. And it turns out, who's this guy? This guy, the Chachnik, going, never. And so in the art, he was a chassid that
He was alive,
He was an old man, and he died Nebuch lonely because he had to run away from Russia. They left him. So he ran away. He came to America. He died in the nursing home, Montefiore nursing home, and they knew he was a very chashuv person. Because given gross amaratzim in America, they didn't even know how to write Ishanich bad va'anai like Chachnik going. So they wrote it Noach mit sieben Greisen. But the article that they wrote, that the Tzemach Tzedek was very upset that he went away from him. And the Tzemach Tzedek asked him, Chazor, Tzemach Tzedek said that if you're going to come back from Petersburg, I'm going to make you a Rav in one of the biggest Lubavitcher Kehilas. So if the story is true in all the Pratim, but it's just a fascinating thing.
when was
Tzemach
Tzemach
Tzedek
Tzedek alive?
Tzedek passed away 1870,
Oh, so this guy was,
1865.
200 years ago.
So no less.
yeah.
So this
Then-
guy, but it's interesting. I'm just like when I'm reading the story. So Tzemach Tzedek tells him. So Tzemach Tzedek obviously had the Ruach HaKodesh and saw what's good for a person. He knew that if Tzemach Tzedek told him that you think you're going to come up with big inventions, you're not going to come up with anything. Whatever you'll come up with, the going will steal.
Somebody's gonna steal it.
Kachava, he died penniless, buried somewhere in Bayside, died in Nebachalon in a nursing home here in America. But Weiss, he was a frum yid till his whole life. It's just that Tzemach Tzedek foresaw the future, and that's not a pella to me. The pella in the story is that the guy he went away. He went away from Lubavitch. He's in Petersburg. So it means he's nicht Yid in Zion. Yeah, a frum yid was not allowed to live there. They were anti-Semites, the Russians. They let the maskilim live there, or scientists, or rich people. So, and Tzemach Tzedek is telling him, "I'll make you a rov." It's very interesting. He wouldn't. He
Off the data.
I mean, he didn't go off the dead. It seems like he was a from yid, but still, I mean, he went away. He went away, and the Tzemach Tzedek is like trying to get him back. And the Tzemach Tzedek is telling him, Chazor bach, and if you'll come back, I'll make sure that you're accepted as a Rav and a Choshev Kehila. Because Torah is not Makabel Tuma, it didn't matter. Even though this guy Nebuch went away, and the Tzemach Tzedek, I guess, trusted him that that Tzemach Tzedek wouldn't tell an Oizvorf, he wouldn't tell an Oizvorf that I'm going to go make you a Rav, one of the
He
cities.
know how to know. It's not like he know how to know.
Said one of my cities, and one of the cities that are under my ashpah that I'll. Because Torah is that way. Torah is not makabel tuma, but avoida is not that way. Avoida means a yid comes close to the Eibishter. Korban is kirav hakoyches vachushim. The yid becomes a non-mensch. The yid has to become uzgeedel. The yid has to become. So there's a mile in Torah because there could be tremendous amount of kedusha, but it could be that the person is not connecting to that kedusha. Lidach in tefillah, there's a chisaron because how much can a person already? It's like the Rambam says that the Yisrael kachom gedolim v'yodim astum v'yodim dvarim astum v'koyach adam. As much as a person could in tefillah, it's kifikoyach adam. How much a person has to? A person has to change in tefillah. It's not enough. It was a chosed at Tzemach Tzedek that they said that. So one of the younger Chassidim davening with Abren, he says you're shaking from here to there, but you're not moving anywhere. You're shaking, but you're not moving.
It's like you're walking on a treadmill.
Yeah, the treadmill. You're shaking, but you're not moving. And the tefillah that you have to move. It has to be a shinui in the mahus of a person, even if it's a small shinui. So there's a mile on Torah and a mile on tefillah. And then the tzad hashav on Torah tefillah is that it's about me. Either the kedusha is coming down, or I'm becoming more mezuchach. But that's Torah and avodah. Gemilas Sodom is to change the world. Even korbanos, first you have to be makdish the korban, and then you can bring it on the mizbeach. Shenkin in the Gemilas Chasodim, the mitzvahs, which are in general called Gemilas Chasodim, is the way the world is. But siyurim heim, you don't have to be makdish it. You do a mitzvah with it. So that's in Yavdira B'Taktoin. So the Rebbe says that's why there's the two Lashonis, or three Lashonis. When it comes to the Adonim is the Torah the Yesod. So it says V'yikchu li teruma. Oisi atem loikche. Because Take, you take the Abish himself, but still the Yid, the Terumah and the Li are two different words. There is the Terumah and there's the Li. By tefillah, which is the second thing, which is the korbanos. Over there, it's terumah si. It's one word. The yid and the ebish tevet eina. Even if it's small, because by tefillah we don't move that much. The person doesn't become so izgeedelt. It's kifikoyach adam. How much a person could purify himself. It's chakito pokito, a little bit. But machne shtois, because it's at least at that nekuda is trumasi. He becomes one with the Eibishter. And then there's the third thing, which is Dira B'Tachtoinim. Take, a deed doesn't change, but that's the Kavanah, the Eibishter. Eibishter want that we should bring Kedusha into the world, and that's in Dira B'Tachtoinim. And that's not Li Terumah, and it's not Terumasi, it's Terumah. Well, the point, that's the Kavanah Yonah. That's what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants. That's the Kavanah. And these are the three pillars. That's why there's three Lachonis. And the emphasis, when we talk about Ichas, is really about the Dira B'Tachtoinim. But now we understand the three diukim and the lashonis. The difference of the three levels of truma is the adonim is the union of Torah, the union of the karbonis is the tefillah, and the truma samishkan to build a zova kesav nachoshes, that's gemilas chasodim, and Torah is the union of oisiatam loichim is v'yikchu li truma. Taka, it's li the Eibush himself, but the Yid and the Eibush is kilo two things, because it's not me. It's because Torah is not makabel tum. It's the Eibush decided when a Yid learns Torah, he becomes one with the Eibush. And then this tefillah is through masi. The Yid and the Eibush Taka become one, and then there is the of Gemilas Chasadim, which is truma. But that's Taka the Kavona. That's what the Eibush wants. There should be a dir b'tachtoin.
Where libas nivel fit? Tera tefillah or Chasadim?
This is not saying in the Sikha, but the truth is,
The last one. What's the question?
The truth is that
when
in the pasuk it says
the last one.
No, in the middle one. Which is Avemus is avoidus atfilas, avoidus
Truma.
Daba b'nei Yisrael yichel truma. Meis kolisha sheidvenu libo yitikhu as trumasi, which is the union of tefillah. So okay, in a way, tefillah goes very well with nidvas haleiv because it's ezu avoida shebelev is a tefillah. No, because v'yikchu li truma, right? V'yikchu li truma. Meis kolisha sheidvenu libo tikhu as trumasi. V'zois truma shetikhu miito. So yidvenu libo really in the pasuk goes in the middle one, which is the union of the tefillah. Okay, L'chaim.
And to the brain.
Yes.
Today's the 10th year of Rabbi Gordon.
Oh yeah? Today?
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So,
How many people listen to this Shiur now?
I don't know, there's a little movie on
I saw
called The
it.
Josh Next.
In the 10 years, more than 20 million people watch this.
Wow.
And a lot of people that were not, they just wanted to learn a little bit, but they were not close to Yiddishkeit, and because of him, they
Connect Yiddishkeit.
Oh wow. We got a minion.
we do.
One more.
No.
Almost. Yeah?
Do we have someone upstairs?
So this is the pshat, and then what you said is the Hasidus way of
Yeah.
understanding it.
Yeah.
What's the Maimer Dibur Masri? Same person?
V'yichul truma.
Today in the Rambam, we start learning it. So,
Oh, yeah, I bought it. I bought it in Bingo.
it's a Chum Rishon, not other Shem.
So today talk about
Steve, we got the Hamantashen for you.
Oh, yes, I heard. It's a snowstorm tonight, so I canceled last minute.
Oh.
Sorry. You see, I don't know if you guys noticed, but just started. I'm looking out the window as we speak.
come tomorrow night.
If it stops snowing, Shmuley, then yes.